And when you can be in that direct, connected place of receiving, you allow the universal flow to move through your being in a way that it cannot access when there is so much static. And when you allow the universal flow to move through you, getting yourself out of the way, that is where synchronicities ramp up. That is where miracles happen. That is where your intuition speaks the loudest. Welcome, Badass Manifester. I am so glad you are here. I'm your host and head coach, Ashley Gordon, master mindset and manifestation biz expert, founder of the quantum coaching certification, and multiple six-figure entrepreneur obsessed with empowering you to create quantum leaps in your energy, your life, and your business. This is the show to help you make magic your everyday normal, where the ripple effect is real and the guest experts are world class. My mission is to power your conscious and subconscious mind with manifestation teachings, business tools, and coaching techniques to put your potential into action. Consider this your weekly up level. Are you ready for quantum transformation? Let's do this. Hello, badass manifestors. I am coming in with a solo episode today to help you change your energy if you are feeling stuck, if you're feeling stagnant, if you're feeling lack of creativity right now in your life, in your business, in your work, whatever it may be. The tools that I'm about to drop to you are going to help you immensely get out of the way so you can really allow the flow of movement and momentum back into your life. I'm really excited. I first want to start off this episode by saying two things. One, it is savings season. What does that mean? Our savings list for QCA is popping like the fireworks on the 4th of July. Seriously, we have so many amazing humans joining the savings list. It is our only opportunity. We don't do sales. We don't do Black Friday. We don't do summer sale. We don't do anything like that. But what we do have is twice a year, we have a list that we open up for a short period of time where you can save up to $1,500 on your tuition for the Quantum Coaching Academy. So if you have been thinking about joining the program, this would be the time. So here's how the savings list works. It is a list that anyone can join to have the opportunity to save on your tuition. And basically what happens is once you get on the list, you'll be prompted to apply early to the program, early enrollment. And what that means is you can apply early and get on a call with our team members for free, completely for free. And they will help you figure out if this is the right fit, give you all the information you need about the Quantum Coaching Academy, all the things. And for the savings list period, we only have a certain number of dropped spots per week that are actual seats in the program. And that depends on the application process. That depends on us looking at your application, talking to you, making sure it is the right fit for us and for you. Because it's got to be a synergy. It's got to be a full-blown alignment, hell yes feeling for both of us. So we have 5 spots that dropped this week. 2 of the spots have already been taken. So there are 3 saving spots left this week. And there are already application calls in place. So you really want to get your application in, get your call booked to potentially get one of those spots inside of the program. So the link is in the show notes. It's also in my Instagram bio at thequantum.coach. Get yourself on the list. You can also DM me QCA savings list and I will personally send you the link and put you on the list. Okay. I also want to shout out someone that left a review on the podcast. So I'm doing solo and shout outs. So if you have not yet left a review on the podcast, please go ahead and do so. Hit the 5 stars, leave a few words. I want to say Chris2132, shout out to you. Chris wrote, incredible. I believe I've left a review before, but man, after listening to the episode with John Osseroff, I'm hooked. Thank you, Ashley, for such wonderful content to help us improve and grow on so many levels. I'm so grateful that you're listening, Chris. I really appreciate it. That is actually one of my top favorite episodes. Yeah, I love that episode so much. And if you haven't listened to the episode with Michelle Young, she was the most recent Bachelorette on ABC. She is such an inspiring podcast guest. I'm so excited that I got to interview her. Definitely listen to that episode too. I think you'll really, really like it. So shout out, Chris. I want to give you a shout out. Yes, you listening right now. All you have to do is leave your review. That's it. Leave your review and I'm reading them. I'm shouting them out. Thank you so much. Okay, let's just jump right into today's episode. So, obviously, doing inner work is always important. Breaking through your belief systems, being coached, being willing to, really go deep with yourself is always very, very important and necessary for our growth and evolution. That's what we do here on this podcast. That's what we talk about. That's what we live for, right? That's why we're here. And there are times where you're doing all the work and you still feel stuck. Anyone with me? And sometimes your creativity might feel blocked, or you just feel like things aren't flowing the way that they could be or should be. And here's what I've realized. I don't know about you, but I am so overstimulated. There are times where I'm so overstimulated, I can't even look at my phone. Or if I go to a store and there's fluorescent lighting, I need to put my sunglasses on because it hurts my eyes so bad because I'm so overstimulated. And we're overstimulated with scrolling, with taking in information, with taking in content, with things on TV, with the media, with the news, with other people's lives, which is fine and serves its purpose. And there has to be a space. So it's no wonder why we aren't receiving our desires. It's because we have so much static in our aura and in our energy field that it really makes perfect sense why we're not receiving the way we could be. Because think about yourself as a radio frequency. And if you're not tuned exactly to that alignment station, the station of pure alignment, then it's going to be staticky and it's going to be hard to hear. It's going to be hard to get that station perfectly queued up. And so it is our job to get ourselves out of the way, to clear the static, to clear the noise. And I have been doing this with a really powerful tool, and that is to have my brain and my body go into the alpha brainwave state. Okay. Now, when we talk about brainwave states, we talk about this a lot in hypnotherapy. And if you didn't know, we certify in hypnotherapy in QCA. And part of the reason why hypnotherapy is such a powerful modality is because we're helping our clients get into the alpha brainwave state. And the alpha brainwave state is that state in your brain that is a relaxed state. It's a certain frequency, and it's often associated with meditation or a reflective state, as opposed to when we're in our waking state, we're in the beta state. That's a very high frequency brain waves where we're typically very active, we're very alert, we're in a focused mental state. We are in a frequency that's it's vibrating higher, and it's where we're problem solving, decision making. And that's really, really important to know, because when you're in beta waves, I look at it as that's where we're outputting. We're putting out energy with our brain so that we can figure things out, as opposed to slowing our brainwaves down. Stop figuring everything out. Stop taking in information so that we can actually receive energy. So the way that I look at these states is beta is giving and alpha is receiving. That's just the way that I kind of like to think about it. And then there's delta, which is our deep, deep, deep sleep. That's our deep sleep unconscious state. And you can get there in hypnotherapy as well, but you don't have to have a really profound experience, because the alpha state is the state where you can visualize the best. Your subconscious mind can take things in just as easily as it can when it's in delta. So delta is great too for if you want to go to bed listening to a hypnosis or something and you're getting into that really, really deep unconscious state, that's where our body is then getting in rest and repair. That's where our body processes resting and rejuvenating. And so beta is where we're figuring everything out. Alpha is where we're receiving. And so I've been getting myself into the alpha state with like self hypnosis. And I think hypnosis is one of the most powerful tools because it is so easy to facilitate once you learn how to do it. And it's one of those things where, I always say like when we are coaching our clients through a transformational process, we want to take them through an experience. And I think that hypnotherapy really does take your clients through an experience, as do other tools and techniques that we teach. But I think that there's something really cool about hypnosis because you're really putting the desires, like once you do a lot of other work with your clients, you're really putting their desires and their preferred suggestions right into their subconscious. And it's just such a powerful tool. So I started to get myself into alpha state a few different ways. You can obviously listen to any meditation that you want, and that will help you get there. But what I've been doing is two things. One, full-blown body scans. So looking up on YouTube meditations that are body scans. And you can even type in alpha state body scans, and that will help you access that state where once you relax your whole body, you get into this place where there's everything and there's nothing. And in that space, you can do a few different things. You can just be and not focus on receiving anything in particular. You can just be and not focusing on, manifesting clients or manifesting money or manifesting this or just be. Because I find personally just getting the static out of the way, getting myself, my conscious mind out of the way, actually removing it out of the way, just by allowing myself to get into this state, it actually moves it out of the way. And it's not getting out of my own way. It's moving everything just over to the left on a shelf, right? Putting it all on a shelf and getting into that direct, connected place of receiving. And when you can be in that direct, connected place of receiving, you allow the universal flow to move through your being in a way that it cannot access when there is so much static. And when you allow the universal flow to move through you, getting yourself out of the way, that is where synchronicities ramp up. That is where miracles happen. That is where your intuition speaks the loudest. That is where, if you want to practice visualizing something, you can see yourself speaking on that stage. You can see yourself holding your baby. You can see yourself with your partner, whatever you want to manifest. See yourself at the $1 million mark in your business. See yourself at a book signing, like whatever your visualization is, whatever lights your soul on fire, talking to thousands upon thousands of people, whatever your thing is, you can go there in that state because you have the space to. And you can just play there. Like, I want you to get into this space of everything and nothing and just allow yourself to be there and allow yourself to play at the same time. Like, if you could be anything in this space, you can literally imagine yourself as anything in that space. Because you're actually giving yourself space. You're actually making space. Because if we don't have space, we can't possibly be fully in the flow. Because we're maxed out, because we're giving, we're on output. If we're in beta, we're outputting, we're problem solving, we're giving our energy, we're giving. We're not receiving. And it must be balanced. The brainwave states must be balanced in order to get into the flow. And so it does take some time to give yourself that space, but it doesn't take that much time. And so as a new mom, I've been asked, well, when do you make space for this? How do you make time for this? I do it right before bed, which I think helps me go into even more of that deep delta state of like rest and rejuvenation. So I really recommend doing this. When I was really consistently doing this, and I haven't been in the last couple of days, I'm just going to call myself out right now. I feel different, number one. Number two, everything was flowing to the point where I was like, whoa, life is so easy right now. I remember being in the state, I was in the bathtub doing one of the techniques. And one of the techniques is also counting backwards from 100. So if you count backwards from 100, you're really, really focused, and then your focus starts to wane and you start to get really relaxed, and you're like, I don't know what number I was on, and it doesn't matter. And then you become really flowy in this alpha state of being, and your mind might be still going, but you're just kind of, you're just entering that space of fluidness. And I was in the tub, and this image came to me where it was like, you're going to be in a mastermind with really high level people. And I hadn't invested in a business coach in over a year at this point, and didn't feel called to. And what came to me was like, don't worry about the money. Don't worry about anything. You're going to be in this mastermind. And I'm just like, okay. I'll start looking for one. And literally the next day I get a text message from a friend who's like, do you want to join this mastermind with me? And she is a very dear friend and an amazing entrepreneur, mama, all the things. And I was like, whoa, yes. And then the next thing I know, I'm connecting with this other woman who's like super high level. She's hosting the mastermind. And I was like, this is crazy right now. Like, I'm in a text message with this woman who's like, it was so aligned and so connected. And I was just like, wow, okay, let's do it. So I enrolled in this year-long mastermind, and I didn't have to look for it because it literally came to me. But if that came to me before I had that space and had my intuition bring that to me, I don't know if I would have trusted it as much. So getting into this alpha space really allows you to trust what's coming through, because you might get premonitions, or you might have that knowing or a feeling that something's coming that's going to be good for you, and to do it and to take action on it. And when it presents itself, you'll know that it is right instead of questioning it over and over again. So allow yourself the space and the grace to receive. And receiving means like unplugging from yourself, from your life, from the phone, from the static. Like, our society literally has set us up to forget our power. And the way that we access our power is so easy. Of course it is, right? Of course, all we have to do to access our power is to relax, is to meditate, is to get out of our own way. It's like, duh, like, yeah, that makes perfect sense. We're receivers. We are frequency. So when we have all this other frequency coming in at us all day freaking long, of course we're going to be shitty receivers, because we're taking in so much information and so much static and so much other stuff that we don't have space for anything else. I could never do it just because I don't have the flow desire, but I always think it's cool when I find people online that they have they follow zero people on Instagram. So they're not consuming all of everybody else all the time. And I think it's so interesting, and I'm sure it helps lower the static, right? I'm sure it helps. That's not necessarily like my vibe, but I like the platform. I like following people. I like seeing different things, new things. It inspires me a lot of times, and there has to be space. So if you're feeling overstimulated, if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling blocked in some way, and you're like, I'm so blocked right now. First of all, saying I'm blocked just creates more block, right? And I don't think you're actually blocked or stuck. I think that you might just be really staticky and overstimulated, and you might just need to take 10 to 20 minutes. That's all it is, and get yourself out of the way, but consistently. Doing it consistently is what makes the difference. So let's just do that right now together for a moment. We'll just take like 5 breaths. It could be as simple as that throughout the day of just getting yourself out of the way. So if you're driving right now, maybe don't do this. I mean, you could take deep breaths, but if you're not and you have the space to just close your eyes for a moment, like do yourself that favor, give yourself this gift of just 5 deep breaths together. Okay? So just close your eyes if it feels good. Take a deep breath in through your nose, all the way down to the pit of your belly. Hold the breath. And as you hold the breath in, imagine as you exhale, you're exhaling all the static from your being, body, and brain right now. Exhale all the static out. And let's do it again. Breathe in. Hold. And as you breathe out all the static. Notice. And do that again. Breathe in. Hold at the top. Exhale all the static, all the noise. Breathe on in. Hold. And clear out all the static with your intention and your breath from your being, your body, your brain. Breathe on in. Hold. Breathe out the static from your being, body, and brain. And just sit here for a moment, just a moment. And feel and notice the space. And if you feel and notice that you need to create more space, you can take a few more breaths, breathing out the static. And if you feel like you've created space, just notice the space. And just be empty for one moment. You can stay there all day, right? Stay there for as long as you need or want. Feel free to come back to this or rewind it. That was very good. If you gave yourself that space, I'm giving you some kudos, some celebration energy. It is a big deal. And in that space, there is so much magic. In that space, you can really connect to your desires and call them in so much faster. Life can feel synchronistic every day. Every day. And it's really powerful, and I'm celebrating you. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. As always, again, if you haven't left a review yet, please do so. And this is your reminder to join the savings list. If you feel called to change other people's lives, if you've been through a transformation of your own and you feel called to help other people because you've been through something so profound and you know that you can help other people, I want to invite you to take that step and join the savings list and look into QCA, because one of the most powerful things that you could do for yourself and for the world is to follow those intuitive nudges and follow the invitations that are presented. And I'm presenting an invitation to you right now to save money on tuition for something that could actually change the trajectory of your entire life. And not only that, but you could, because of following that, you could potentially change the trajectory of many, many lives. And there is so much power and purpose and passion that is waiting for you in making a decision to do something as simple as join a savings list. So I want to invite you to that. The link is in the show notes and in my Instagram bio. If you have any questions, message me. We'll have a chat, a talk, whatever. I'm here for you. 100%. I do care about you so much. And I care about your growth and your evolution. And that is the reason why I started this podcast and my business. And so I'm still very much in alignment with that mission. So I'm sending you so much love. Thank you for listening. Until next time, stay badass. Because you are. You're a badass manifester. And go get it. Woo! We did some work today. Thank you so much for listening. You know I love my BAM fam. If this episode resonated with you, please share it with someone who you know would love it too, because we live for the ripple effect over here. And how can you best support the show? Make sure you're subscribed, hit the 5 stars, and leave a review on iTunes, and let me know how the podcast has impacted you. I love being part of your real-time journey, so screenshot the episode and tag me and my guests on Instagram at manifestwithash. Now say it with me. I am my own power source. I am the master of my own energy, and I deserve everything that I desire. We don't just talk about it over here, we be about it. Now go get 'em.